Well, hello and welcome to the Super Connector Show, where I'm delighted to be joined by Katie Bulmer-Cooke, who is an award-winning personal trainer and fitness coach. So hello, Katie. Thank you for joining me.
Hello, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, it's good to speak to you today. So today we're going to talk a bit about why it's important for busy business owners and leaders to stay or get fit and healthy so that they can be successful in work and in their personal life. And you're also going to talk a bit about your own journey, how you started and grown your business over the years. And we'll talk a little bit, we'll mention it. Some people will know that you were on BBC's The Apprentice as well back in 2014. So I'm keen to know a little bit more about that experience and how that might or might not have helped you since. So do you just want to start by telling us a bit about what you do now, like your business now and where it's at?
Yeah, well, my business has always been fitness. I've never done anything else, but it has evolved over the years. So I started out in group fitness and became a PT, and then in more recent years, also qualified as a life coach. And now I blend all of those things together and work as what I call a personal coach. So I work with clients predominantly on their health and fitness, but also on things like career, confidence, mindset, relationships, all of the other pillars in their life that directly influence and benefit from being a fitter and healthy person.
Yeah, great. Well, I think it's all intertwined, isn't it? And everything's connected. So yes, you might be physically fit, but if you've got other things going on in your life, it can seep into your physical health, can't it? If you've got challenges elsewhere and vice versa. So is that a new thing, would you say? I know that it has become more popular in recent years, but have you noticed a change in when you're dealing with clients? Are you being asked to help a bit more with that, or is it?
Yeah, I think if I look back in my early days in fitness, people saw working with somebody to help you in that area as more of a luxury than a necessity.
Mhm, mhm,
But now it's almost the other way around. People who are business owners or they're in high performing, high responsibility roles in employment, everybody is now starting to realize that this isn't a luxury anymore. If I want to be top of my game, if I want to go and achieve all the things I want to do in other areas of my life, my career, my personal life, etc., actually being fit and healthy is a really important part of that. If anything, it's the foundation for everything that like layers up on top of it.
mhm. And is it mostly, just tell me, is it mostly female clients that you work with that?
Yeah, so mostly female, and that's just been something that's naturally happened over the years.
Yeah,
But I do have male clients as well, but they are all connected to the females that I train. So
right.
it
Okay.
tends to be that it's the husbands of female clients or siblings of
Mm,
clients.
mhm,
That,
mhm.
yeah, I think it's just a natural progression. Like you'll see your partner doing really well, being fitter, healthier, better energy, all of that stuff, and then partners are like, yeah, I want a bit of that as well. And it's nice because it's nice to see people doing it together because
Mm,
it does make it easier, if your partner's on board, if your family's on board, and you're all doing it together. There's that extra sense of accountability. There's
mhm.
that camaraderie that goes along with it, that extra little bit of support. So I definitely see a lot of that with clients. Yeah.
Yeah, no, equally it can make it challenging, can't it, if you're trying to make a change, if you're trying to make an improvement, but your partners aren't, if they're not into it or they're like sabotaging what you're doing.
Yeah, and often like it's never common like that. Sabotage is a really interesting word because I think we often associate that in like a negative way. But sometimes sabotage can come from a really good place. You've been out at work all day, had quite a stressful day. You come in and your partner says to you, "Oh, I've poured you a glass of wine." Like they're doing that from a kind place, but that might not be now aligned with what it is that you're trying to achieve. So
Mhm.
yeah, it definitely can have its challenges, but having somebody in your corner, or like who's with you all the time, who's on the same wavelength and trying to achieve the same things as you and trying to make the same changes, definitely helps.
Mhm. I know that when you've if you've had a coach yourself, then you obviously appreciate it more, don't you? So have you got a coach yourself?
I haven't got a coach myself at the minute, but I definitely have had coaches in the past in like different areas of my life, and it makes a massive difference that that person has your best interests at heart, wants to see you win, and can often say things that you can't say. You know, things like, if I think about things I've done in the past, and I'll talk through a problem that I think I've got, and that coach is able to see opportunity there. They're able to take that situation and turn it on its head, and it makes all the difference, especially when it's somebody who's not intertwined with your day-to-day life, and somebody who's almost sat outside your circle looking in and just has a really impartial view and can see things that you're doing that are not helping you, opportunities that you're missing. They've just got that different perspective. Like, classic one I come across a lot with clients is when people tell us they haven't got much time, but I can look at their life from the outside and go, oh, well, what about this? And I can see that pocket of time there. And have you thought about that? It is
Mhm.
just that different perspective.
Yeah, it's that I know it's an over probably an overused word, but accountability. You know, having someone like it's you might have lots of motivation, but everybody's motivation dips every now and then, doesn't it? And it's hard to just motivate yourself. But when you've got other people around you who can keep you motivated, if you're feeling a bit like down or a bit tired, or you lost your mojo, or you're thinking it's not working or whatever, someone to give you a bit of a boost and encouragement is really valuable. And then you're not just doing it for yourself; you're doing it because you want to make someone else happy and proud as well.
Yeah, accountability is a really important word in my world, because often it's not that people don't know what they should be doing. Like, you'll always learn something from somebody else. Like, you'll always learn something from having a coach. But in the most part now, in 2026, most people have a good idea of what they need to be doing to be a fitter and healthier person. They know they need to be moving more, um, being mindful of what they eat, making some changes there, recovering well, sleeping well. And there's so much information on the internet. Like, sometimes there's too much information on the
Mhm.
internet, but there's definitely stuff out there. It's not that there's a lack of information, it's that often people don't know how to implement that into their life, how to
Mhm.
make it work for them, and then it's accountability. So I always say that it's not the information necessarily that people need, it's the implementation and it's accountability, and it's those
Yeah,
two things that make the difference.
yeah. So, well, because of the time of year it is as well, what is it today, the 12th of January? So, a lot of people will have made New Year's resolutions at the start of the year. I was reading something last week. Apparently, 25% of people don't make it past the first week with the New Year's resolutions, and 80% of people don't make it to mid-February. So,
Yeah,
if you have stuck to your New Year's resolution so far, well done.
yeah, round of applause for you if you've done it.
But if you haven't, it's not the end of the world. I think that's the thing. People make big plans, and sometimes they're too big, and then maybe they don't stick to it, and they think, "Oh well, what the hell? I might as well just give up and not try." But it's okay if you don't, if you fall off the wagon a little bit, or you don't stick to your plans.
Yeah.
But you can get back to it, can't you? So,
Oh, totally. And you're dead right. There's people making New Year's resolutions and they're just trying to do too much too soon.
mhm,
It never lasts. I'm not for or against New Year's resolutions. Like, in my world, you'll see some people who do what I do, and they'll really bash New Year's resolutions and say they're bad and this, and then you'll see some people go, "Oh, right, new year, new you." I don't think there's a right or a wrong. It's all in how you approach it. Like, most people will bite off more than they can chew. They'll go from not doing the gym at all to going 5 times a week, eating chicken, broccoli, and brown rice out of a Tupperware box, and never touching alcohol again in their lives. For most people, that is just too much change. And yes, you might be able to do that for a week, 2 weeks, a month, and yes, you'll see some results from that. But it just doesn't work long term.
No, it's not.
There's so much pressure as well to do a New Year's resolution, because if you look on social media, everyone's going, "Oh my goodness," like, "Oh, there's my dogs, they totally make an appearance." Everyone's going, "Oh yeah, new year, new me." But it's just, there's too much pressure to feel like you have to change things. Like, some things don't need to be changed at all.
No.
Often when I work with clients, it's about finding your foundation habit. What's the one thing? Oh my goodness! What's the one thing that sets you up to build on?
Yeah. Well, I don't normally do New Year's resolutions. I can't remember the last time I formally did one. But like, I do. It is a good time of year to reflect on how the year's gone. Obviously, got a bit of breathing space, bit of time where a lot of people aren't working. I know some people are working throughout, but a lot of people aren't working. They've got a bit of downtime, and then they can think, okay, how do I want things to be different this year, if at all? So definitely, I was saying before we came live, I'm fairly active, but I was going to the gym, and I do like going to the gym, but I'm never going to go to the gym 5 days a week, I don't think. But I was going 2 days a week, sometimes a bit more, sometimes going for a run, going for walks and whatever. So I've decided, realistically, there's nothing stopping us from going 3 days a week.
Yeah.
So and then I've looked at my calendar, I thought, well, Monday, Wednesday and Friday are realistic. I live like 15 minutes away from the gym. So simple thing I've started doing, which is so obvious, is when I get up, I put my gym stuff on as soon as I get up. And then I'm already thinking, like, my gym stuff's out, ready to put on. My trainers are there. I'm already thinking. I'm already in that mindset.
Yeah. It's about making it as easy as possible, like taking all the little barriers out, all those little bumps in the road, like your gym clothes. I actually used to coach someone years ago who, she used to sleep in her gym clothes.
All right. So she had as soon as she woke up over there.
I'm up, I'm wearing it. There's loads of different things you can.
Maybe people should go to the gym in their pajamas, or maybe you should design some gym pajamas.
Pajamas.
There you
Well,
go, gym pajamas. There you go, gym pajamas. We've come up with a new business idea.
gym pajamas. Like, people go at the
Gym jams.
pajamas sometimes. So why not the gym as well? Yeah, it's all of those little bits, isn't it? Like, my best friend, when we used to live together, when we were flatmates, he used to lay out across the landing all of the things that he was going to put on to go to the gym. So he stepped out of his bed into his shorts and his vest, and he was a runner, so that he didn't get jogger's nipple. His plasters were out, ready for that. And his little tub of Vaseline, and then it was onto his hoodie and all the rest of it, so that the whole thing just flowed and it made it easier.
Yeah. I think they do work, don't they? And it's like it's often just small little changes can build up the bigger changes. So like you say, just going, all of a sudden I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week, or I'm going to do couch to 5K or 10K or whatever, and I've never been a runner ever in my life before, and I don't even like running. There'll be people who are like that, who hate running, and now they're suddenly going to be a runner. Well, that's not sustainable, is it? But like,
yeah, often people do things because they think that's what they should be doing. Maybe it's because they've seen it online somewhere, or they've had previously an experience with it and thought that it was worthwhile doing. Then doesn't mean it'll be relevant and worthwhile doing it at your current season in your life. Or a friend will be doing it, and there's some sort of external influence, really you've just got to find something you enjoy. And I say this to people all the time: go and try things, try the gym, try your sport, try something you've never done before, maybe like paddle, get into hiking, do some yoga on YouTube, whatever it is. Just try as many things as you can, because something will stick. And if you haven't found your thing yet, that doesn't mean that you're not an exercise person or you're not a fitness person. You just haven't found that thing that really lights you up yet.
Yeah. So I know that's good advice. I know was doing a bit of snooping before I was on your Facebook page. You've got some good videos on there and elsewhere, and you said it's every client that you work with. It's not necessarily right. You must do this or you must do that. You will work with them to figure out what's right for them, and some of them it might just be going for a walk or initially, or it might be doing some stretches, or it might be drinking more water or whatever. So how would you typically work if not necessarily me, but if me or someone else came to you and said, look, Katie, I like this, I like you come across well, I like the sound of what you do. How can you help us? What would you do? What would you do then?
The first thing I do is just try and listen as much as I can. So I get
Mm-hmm.
all the information from. Like just before I did this, I did a welcome call with a new client, and I just wanted to know more about her and what her routine was, what she feels like works for her, what makes her happy, what her goals are. I just want to listen, because the more information for me, the better.
Yeah.
And then, as like, let's say it was you, Paul, as you're talking, I'm listening for what's the easiest thing that we can do that'll have the biggest impact.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone thinks that if you start working with somebody like me, that I'm going to go, right, because you've made this decision, we're going down the chicken and broccoli route, and we're logging all your food, and straight away we're doing this full-on exercise program. Like, we could do that, but you'll probably experience more failure with that, and therefore demotivation, than if I start you off with what personally is the easiest thing for you. So like for you, you've got a new dog. You're already now have got a commitment to walking your dog.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not try and add things on. Let's look at what you've already got and how we're going to expand that, and what you can join with that. So I've got a client who her foundation habit is drinking her water. And we found that out through conversation, through looking at her previous habits. And if she drinks her water regularly throughout the day, she finds that other good habits fall into place. So I'm always looking for the easiest thing, that's the quickest and easiest to implement, that yields the biggest results. And that's not always results in terms of like big amounts of weight loss or anything like that, but a main result in terms of keeping motivation high, helping to build consistency, helping clients experience positive achievement. We all love that feeling of ticking something off a list. We all love that feeling of like completing your to-do list, crossing things off. And if we feel like we're going to be consistently successful at one thing, it shows us that we're going to be consistently successful at the next thing that feels a little bit more challenging. For me, it's all about building people's confidence and their self-belief. So if you can commit to a 10-minute walk 5 days a week, you go tick, yeah, oh, well, I could do that. So what's the next thing I can do? You feel a bit more mentally ready to tackle something that's a little bit harder.
Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, I'm into all this stuff anyway, right? I mean, but even like last week, I've got like a journal type thing here. I'll give it a bit of a plug. It's called The Successful Man. It was a Christmas present for me.
Yeah, we've got those too. My husband, the successful man and the successful woman.
Yeah, right. Well,
Yeah.
God, I'll give it a little flash.
It's really good, isn't it?
Well, do you know what? I am into all this sort of stuff, but when I first opened, I was like, "Oh, this looks really like there's a lot of work involved in here."
Yeah.
And even though I'm into all this sort of stuff, I was a bit put off. But then when I was just like, "Right, come on, I'll start it." But I started it. I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty good." And then I just kept on going with it. But there is a bit in it where it's about your morning routine and your ideal week, and writing down what you'll be doing. And so last week was the first full week that I did what I said I was going to do, and it did feel really good to like tick everything off. And I have lots of to-do lists for work, but like for outside of work, I don't normally do things like that. So yeah, it did. It was. I did feel quite proud of myself for achieving everything I said I was going to do. There's still a few improvements to be made, but that's fine. This week's going to just build on that.
And if you can show yourself that you can complete one thing in one area, that definitely translates to other areas. So I've seen clients show themselves that they can be successful in, like, let's say, a morning routine.
Mm-hmm.
And you get that great feeling that you lit up there when you talked about how you'd completed something and how good it felt. Like you could really see it on your face. And then that feeling transfers everywhere else. You can be good at this, and I'm capable, and I can do things. Right, well, I can go and apply for that new job. I can go and apply for that promotion. I can go and finish that project at work. I can do this bit of development on my business. It's all just cementing that self-belief that you can do more
Yeah.
than you thought you could do.
Yeah, definitely. Because the opposite of that is you don't do what you say you're going to do, and how you feel really bad about that because you've made a commitment to yourself, or maybe to others, that you can do something and you've let yourself down or others down, and like that builds up over time where you you get in your own head that you're the type of person that can or can't complete tasks or can't stick to what they say they're going to do. So yeah, we'll talk a bit more about, like, I've not heard, did you say foundational habit?
Yeah, like what's your foundation habit? What's the thing that triggers a whole bunch of other positive things that happen?
Yeah.
So
I'd not heard it called that. I mean, it makes sense, but not it. So can you give some other examples of that, or have you got a foundational habit for yourself?
yeah, so mine is actually the time that I get up on a morning.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
If I get up at a certain time, that time is 4:40.
Wow.
Yeah, and just before anyone goes, oh, she's one of these like early morning 4 a.m. preach people, I'm not at all. It just that just works for me. I get up at 4:40. If I get up at 4:40, I will complete the other things that set me up for the day in the same way that you talked about your morning routine, and it gave you that feeling of, oh, I feel great. If I get up at that time, I'm winning. That's my foundation habit, me get up time. I needed, while I was figuring this out, I needed to make sure that I did everything I could to make getting up at 4:40 easier and frictionless. So where I was letting myself down previously is I used to have my phone next to my bed. So as soon as it went off, snooze. Well, then it's 4:50. And then the next time it's 5 a.m. and I'm losing time. So I started putting my phone in my office, which is in the room next door to my bedroom. I have to get up to turn it off. Otherwise, it's going to wake everybody else up. It's just going to keep. I have to physically get out of bed. So if I physically got out of bed, I've done the hard bit already. And then I've started the day. And it's living with that. In my case with that, and I know this has been the case for a lot of clients I work with, it's not that the things that I've got to do in the morning are hard or unenjoyable or anything. It's that first 5 minutes of discomfort. It's that feeling, when you hear the alarm go off and you've got to get out of bed, and it's like, especially this time of year, it's January, it's cold, it's dark. It's much easier to get up at 4:40 in the summer. But it's just being able to live with that first 5 minutes of discomfort. So it's not about all of the things that I've got to do. I just say to myself, and I use this a lot with clients, can I live with 5 minutes of discomfort? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to think about the other things that I've got to do. I'm not going to think about my to-do list or the other things that form my morning routine. I'm just going to deal with that first part, that cold, pulling the covers back, getting changed, put my workout gear on. Like, I'm just going to think, can I live with that bit of discomfort? For most of us, We absolutely can.
Mm.
I
Good.
actually think everybody can live with 5 minutes of discomfort.
Yeah, totally. So what do you do then? Like when you get up at that time, what's for you? What's your routine after that?
Okay. So the first thing I do is,
Do you like go to the gym, or do you do?
well, I usually start work between 6 and 6:30. So my workout happens later, but I start
Oh,
my day with stretching.
right.
I'm a big believer in prehab, not rehab. So I'm doing everything. I'm really into fitness racing. I love doing things like high rocks and different fitness competitions. And I know that I need to look after my body if I want to be able to do my hobby, well, and my job actually.
Mhm.
So I always start the day with like between 5 and 10 minutes of like foam rolling, stretching, and then I have like some little admin tasks I do, like the what I believe are the things that keep my business ticking every day. So not the stuff that's developing or growing my business, just the basic nuts and bolts that you've got to do to keep your business ticking. So I do those things, answer my emails, do my social media stuff, and I always do 10 minutes of self-development every morning as well. So that can either be listening to a podcast, writing in my journal, or reading a book. We've got to do whatever it is.
Mhm. Yeah, love it. And is that because you've got family as well? So are you usually the first one up, and you've got a bit of
Oh,
time to yourself?
always. There's only one 4:40 in their day doing mine. The other reason I get up early is that we homeschool our 7-year-old. So it's really important that I get my work things done
Yeah.
before I like swap over with my husband and go into
Yeah.
homeschool mode.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense because I know, well, like same here. So me and my partner, we've got 4 kids between us, blended family. Great kids, but from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, it's busy. It's like getting ready for school and breakfast, and we usually try and have breakfast together, which is really nice. But it's busy. We've got the puppy, obviously. We've got we've got a cat as well. So yeah, it's good to have a bit of time before that
Yeah.
kicks off. And
And
then,
everybody talks about the importance of a morning routine. I am a big advocate of doing things early because, like you've just said, we've all got our own plates to spin. And if we can do things before people need us,
mhm.
we've done it and we've boxed it off. And
Yeah,
whatever else the day's got to throw at us, kids, pets, work, like all the rest of it, we've done the things that make us feel good. And if we've done that, then we show up better for all
yeah,
of the other things.
yeah. Uh-huh.
So as hard as sometimes I'm not going to lie and say that I jump out of bed every day at 4:40 and go, hey, can't wait for the day. Like sometimes, it's tiring, sometimes it's hard, but the result of doing that is definitely one of positivity. You just feel better. Everybody else gets the best version of you. Home, work, everything.
Yeah, totally. Well, I know, like a big word for me this year, I've realized, is focus. All right, because I like doing lots of things, and I'm pretty good at lots of things, and I get involved in lots of things, and I'm just interested in everything, right? But I realize I can't do everything. I can do anything I want, but I can't do everything I want, right? So yeah, so being really clear on what it is that I want to achieve this year, or this quarter, this month, this week, this day, and then because there's lots of demands on my time, or people want to do things with me, family, friends, and through work. But I have to. It's so easy to get distracted, and you end up doing everything for everyone else, and you've not done what you want to do. So yeah, having setting some time aside, not just at the start of the day, but throughout the day, to make sure I'm doing what I want to do and what I said I'm going to do is really important. So yeah, I love having a bit of time to myself in the morning. before anyone else is up. I don't get up as early as you, but maybe I should try it for a little bit to see what I think. But it is good having a bit of time to yourself.
Yeah.
And the walks as well. Walking the dog is good as well.
I've coached loads of people into building a morning routine, and it doesn't have to be extreme from the start. Like, I usually start by what's your usual getting up time? What are the things that you want to do? Let's work backwards. So if the things that you want to do are going to take you half an hour, we just need to be up half an hour earlier, and then we creep it back 5 minutes earlier every day. And then we start borrowing from the other end of the day and looking at sleep and bedtime routines and how you plan the night before to make the morning easier. Mornings is such a good time to get stuff that I think people really think of as selfish pursuits. You know, when you have got other people that depend on you, like especially children, it's easy to sometimes feel selfish about doing your workout, going to the gym, spending some time prepping some food or whatever for you. But actually doing that and allowing yourself that time isn't selfish at all, because it's going to benefit everyone. And a morning is a really good time to do that work on yourself that benefits everybody else.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cliche, isn't it? But they talk about when you're on an airplane, they always say put your mask on first before you can help others. But it's a good analogy to remember. You've got to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others as well. But yeah, something you touched on it a bit about your phone as well, right? So something I've started doing, which I've done in the past, and I'm doing it conscious, like making a concerted effort to do more now, is not looking at my phone for the first hour or so when I first get up. So I'm because my background is marketing and I do a lot on social media. So definitely in the past, the first thing I would do is I would go on my phone and start like reading the updates and see what. Now I'm not doing that. I'm going to do everything else that I've said I'm going to do. So I'm reading. I love reading books. So I'm really quite into philosophy as well. So I'm usually reading a bit of philosophy when I first get up. I have been doing a little bit of journaling from that book I showed you before, or like listening to a podcast as well. But just having a bit of time just to read a book, read a chapter, sit with my thoughts, enjoying a cup of coffee, taking my time. And then on the night time as well, I tend to not use my phone late at night as well. Like after 10 o'clock, I try not to use my phone. So I've like put it down or turned it off, or I've got a little alarm clock next to the bed. So I'm not relying on my phone for the alarm. So I'm not tempted to read my phone. The simple things on there, but they are hard.
The dopamine hit you get from a good scroll on TikTok is like no other. And it is hard to know.
TikTok's the worst. Like, I mean, TikTok's entertaining, but like, so much time can be lost. Do that and others.
Do a little exercise sometimes with clients where, especially when people are feeling like they're pretty time poor, say, right, let's map out your day. Like, how long are you spending this? What time are you getting up? What time are you going to bed? How long do you have for your lunch? All that stuff. Map out the day. We'll look for little opportunities in there. And then the next thing I do is to help them find more time. So I'll say, right, can we just get a screenshot of your current screen time?
Yeah.
And it's to me, I don't need to say anything. Like, I think it's enough for them to go and have a look. But 9 times out of 10, people will come back to us and go, oh my God, I spend way too much time on this device. And where I thought I had no time, I've actually got 3 hours that I didn't know I had, little chunks throughout the day. That's quite a powerful thing to do.
Yeah.
You're finding time that you never had before, and you're not getting that external influence. We were talking towards the start about being influenced to do certain things, like have a New Year's resolution, do something extreme, be doing a certain type of exercise. because you've seen it on the phone,
Mhm.
that feeling of like just living your own life and doing what you naturally feel like you want to do
Mhm.
and gaining more time back, that'll have a really positive influence
Yeah.
on anybody.
Totally, yeah. I'll tell you something else I did yesterday. I moved all my social media apps on my phone away from the home screen
Yeah,
into a folder, so it's a bit harder for me to access them now on my phone. So I'm not tempted to just go on, because I used to have. I mean, I'm pretty organized, but like all my apps are like ordered in the way that I use them, right? So so on my home, the first page on my phone was LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I don't really use it that much, but you know, it was on there anyway. So I've moved all of them off the homepage now, so I don't see the notifications. I turn screen notifications off anyway, and
yeah,
I don't have any sound notifications on anything, so I'm not distracted by that. But even just seeing the little number notification next to an app is like anxiety inducing sometimes. And you see, so
it's,
I've moved them, and it's good. It is good. Yeah.
I
So
do that too. They're all in a folder just like yours, right out the way. No notifications on anything. I don't even have notifications on my emails.
no, I don't either, because
I think I
I'm on my email anyway, and even like social media, I'm gonna go on it anyway when I'm working, but I don't need to be checking it as often as I have done in the past. And yeah, it's good. It's quite freeing.
tell you what's another good one. You know, you can put a widget on your home screen of like anything,
Mhm.
having your screen time as the widget
Right.
on your
Yeah,
home screen,
that's a good
and
idea.
setting yourself a challenge of, well, if it's currently, let's say 3 hours, can I get it down to 2:10?
Mhm.
Can I get it down to sub 2 hours? Can I get it like
Mhm.
1:30 and so on? That's quite a good motivator.
Yeah, yeah. No, I do that because I do look at me screen time every now and then, but I mean, to be fair, it's pretty low
Yeah.
compared to most people, but it's still just having. I think that'll help me focus on the other things that I want to do. So being more of a creator rather than a consumer.
Mm.
I want to do things rather than just have things done to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. Right. So is there anything else you want to say about habits? Like, because it's like habits, you can have good habits and well, you can have bad habits and good habits. But I mean, I'm putting you on the spot here. It can take a while for new habits to form, can't it?
Oh, yeah. And there's loads of different
I
stats.
know. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna hold you to this. Like,
My biggest bit of advice around habits is try and link them.
okay.
So if there's something you're already doing, what can you add on to that? Like if
Mm-hmm.
your first thing, for example, I did this with a client last week. Her current habit is she gets out of bed and makes a coffee at her coffee machine. One of her goals is that she wants to drink more water. So her trigger is turning the coffee machine on. And while the coffee is being brewed, she drinks 300 milliliters of water.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And we haven't got rid of the coffee. The coffee remains. That is still her habit. Let's not try and break something that's already there. Let's try and make
Mm-hmm.
it better. And then to make that even more frictionless, she's started leaving 2 glasses next to the coffee machine all the time.
Right,
So,
yeah. So like a visual reminder. Yeah, it's good.
so there's a reminder, there's a trigger, and she's flying with it. So if you're trying to make a new habit, don't feel like you've got to wipe your current routine and
Mhm.
start from fresh. Look for opportunities in what you already do to try and add things on.
Yeah, no, I love that. So, one of our daughters, she's a really good swimmer. So she's training like 5 nights a week, 3 mornings a week. You know, she's competing in galas and all kinds of stuff. And one of her coaches, she's got like an extra coach who's like an international ex-Olympic swimmer. And I saw a little video that he did, which was open to other people. and he was talking about leaving a pen next to the toothbrush.
Yeah.
So if people wanted to like make their notes or write down, do a bit of journaling, put the pen next to the toothbrush as a visual reminder. I thought that was just simple, isn't it? But
Yes.
it's not hard to do. You know, you don't want to make people's lives harder. You want to make them easier.
Oh, all about making it easier, because then it'll stick. And like going back to what we talked about at the start, like that consistency and just building it, making sure it sticks. That's what it's all about. You're far better to have a couple of like, or I would describe as entry-level habits that you can do every day and never miss, than having these huge, big, whopping things that you need to do every day, or you've decided you need to do every day, that you do a couple of times and then leave it and then come back a couple of times, because that just doesn't breed like that feeling of success.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So do you want to tell me a bit more about how you started out in business? Because I think before we went live, you said from the age of 16, is that right? You've been working in fitness, and so how did that come about, and how have you stuck at that all these years?
I can honestly say never wanted to do anything else other
Right.
than fitness.
Were you always sporty at school? Have you always,
I was sporty at school, and I found the gym when I left school. But prior to all of that, when I was little, my mum is actually a group fitness instructor,
right, cool.
And she still is. She's been teaching for 40 years this year.
Wow, well done.
When she started teaching, she used to take me to her classes. And I used to sit in the corner. So from being 4 years old, and this is back in the day when it was all leg warmers and leotards and all of that.
Fonda's workouts and all
Yeah,
that.
all of that stuff. And I just used to sit in the corner and watch, and then would like join in. And back then, you know, now like the fitness industry is all about, there's a lot about aesthetics and there's so many parts to it, but it was so simple then. Like it used to be called Keep Fit. People went to the Keep Fit class.
Yeah,
and
it wasn't building up a particular part of your body, was it? Or a certain look. It was
really
just
about aesthetics. People just want to keep fit, keep in shape, and it was the social. I loved, there was just this energy in the room that as soon as that music went on and all of these people got together, there was just this lift in the energy, and it was that. I loved it, and that's where I started in group fitness. Like just like my mum had done, like my mum had it as her side job, and I did it as my main job, like hiring a community centre. And back then, I mean, I sound like older than grass here, but I'm 40 this year. But back then, it was going putting leaflets through people's doors. It was like texting everyone in your phone book saying, will you bring your auntie, your grandma, your mum, your sister, whoever, will you bring them to my class on a Tuesday night? That's how I started. And then really found a love for that one-to-one relationship that you can build with clients as a personal trainer. And fitness has given me so much, Paul. Like it's given us a lifelong career. I've met so many amazing people through it. It's taken us in different directions. Things like education and speaking at conferences and conventions and that sort of thing. I do, as well as this, I do consultancy in my industry. Like I'll work with health and fitness brands. It's seen us go to loads of different places in the world. It's given us so much, but it all started sat in a little church hall watching me mum.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, you smile and you still obviously enjoy it, and it's like you say, it's given you a lot over the years. So, so were you working in gyms, or have you been out of gyms and just done your own thing?
I've done it all. So when I first started being a PT, well, actually before that, it was interesting because I was 16 when I qualified, and I was 16, maybe just going into 17, and I wanted to teach in all the local gyms, but no one was interested because I was so young.
Right.
So the only person that was ever going to give me an opportunity at that was me. I had to go and get the hall, do all the things that I just mentioned. And then gradually, as I got a bit older and just, if someone was sick, I would go, I'll teach the class, I'll jump in. People started giving us a bit more of a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So I've
Is
never.
that still the same now? Like, because like it'd be good to have, because people are drawn to certain types of instructors or coaches, aren't they? So like if you're trying to get more younger, like teenagers into the gym, it'd be good to have like a younger coach or fitness instructor. I don't know how old you've got to be a fitness instructor now.
Well, I think any age. I think it's all about what you bring to it. And what I have noticed is that my client group has grown with me. So
Yeah.
I coach a couple of people who are in their 20s, early 30s. But in the most part, my clients are my age and older. Like we've grown together. So that's naturally happened. And I think that's a natural thing when you find that you've got common interests, you've had similar life experiences, you've just walked in their shoes a little bit more. So you just have that common ground. So that definitely makes a difference. But I think anybody can do this job at any age. I used to think sometimes when I was younger, what will it be like when I'm like, will I still be doing this at 50, 60, 70? You know what? I think I probably will be, because I love it. It's just it changes and evolves with the different seasons you go through in your life. I say this all the time, but I don't think there are many jobs that are more rewarding than the job that I do. Just
No.
you're with people every day that you want to be around, that you want to be around, and they want to be with you. It's quite a unique situation.
Yeah, and you can see the changes. You can actually see physical changes in people, and then their confidence will increase, and not always, but like often their lives will improve. Because they're feeling better about themselves, and they're able to do things that maybe they couldn't do before. So yeah, it's a very worthwhile, and I can imagine very fulfilling thing to do. So keep doing it. Keep doing
Oh, I
it.
will do. I will do. I love it. I can't imagine ever not. I don't imagine retiring.
Good. So, well, I know from last conversation we had, you're starting to do a bit more with businesses. Are you keen to speak more to businesses about how you can help them have high performing teams or improve the overall well-being of their teams? Is that right?
Yeah, I am. I've seen how much it benefits my clients who are at those high responsibility, high pressure jobs, who are running their own business, and it's a great opportunity for businesses with a team to experience that in their own workplace, to get everybody together striving to be fitter, healthier, happier, whatever that looks like. And it looks different for everybody. Everyone's definition of fitter, healthier, happier looks different, but it makes a difference in the workplace. Like, there's all the things that we already know, everyone will be very familiar with, fewer sick days, all of that stuff. But if businesses have got a good offering in terms of like a health and fitness package and something that's going to take care of their team, that makes them a more attractive employer. It improves, like, this is a term that I only came across last year, presenteeism.
All right. Yeah.
Not just people being there and having fewer sick days, actually being better when they're there, more productive, more focused, just getting the best out of people. There's just no part of the workplace that having your team be fitter and healthier and happier doesn't touch. So that's my big goal this year. I've already started working with a couple of businesses, which is exciting, but definitely keen to do more.
Okay, great. No, I love it. So, so if people want to get in touch, what's the best way to do that? To talk
Well,
about
I'm
it?
everywhere, Paul. You can find me anywhere. My website's katiebulmer.com, but I'm on every social media platform as Katie Bulmer-Cooke.
Right.
I'm easy to find.
Yeah. So if anyone listening to this or watching this is keen to know how you can work with your team, or like, so would you actually go into a business and do some coaching or training for the team, or what do you suggest, or does it just depend on the business?
I can go in, but in the most part, I do it online through my app.
Right.
So
Okay.
video calls, much like this. I can see everything that the client is up to in terms of their activity, food and everything, all through the app. So there's that constant backwards and forwards of information, and me getting a good picture of what they're up to. And they have that increased accountability, and then we work together on a one-to-one basis to develop them from where they're at now to whatever their goal might be. And it's important that it's personal. So there's a lot of businesses that do some great things for their teams, like they might give them discounted gym memberships, they might say go out and do your meetings, having a walk. Like, all of these things are really great for helping people. But it's about, if we really want them to be the absolute best they can be, it's about going that level deeper and finding out what makes them tick and meeting them where they're at as well, because a discounted gym membership's a lovely idea and it's a very kind gesture. But there are so many people where they go, the gym isn't my preferred. I'd rather be doing X, Y, and Z, or I'd like to go to the gym, but I'm just not ready yet. And there's work needs to be done on that person's beliefs and how they feel about themselves before they can even think about stepping foot in a gym.
And it could be about helping them save some time as well, so they can spend all that. Because if someone's feeling mega stressed and they've got a huge workload and they can't keep on top of their work and they're getting bombarded with emails or text messages or phone calls from their colleagues, then that's not going to help, is it? So it's maybe taking a holistic view of the work and how the team operates. And it could be like, okay, you're saying everyone's going to look after themselves, but you need to stop emailing them on an evening or a weekend. Stop giving them loads of work. Let them take an hour for lunch instead of half an hour for lunch. Because it's simple things like that that you won't know, or they won't know until you look a bit more closer. So good. I love it. I think there's lots of businesses would benefit from talking to you. So I think we're coming up to almost now, but I wanted to ask you about Alan Sugar and The Apprentice. So tell us about that, because that was way back in 2014. And firstly, why did you go for that, or how did that happen?
It was clients. They were like, you should go and give that a go. So I did go to the audition and just thought, what a great experience this will be. Not expecting really to go all the way through, like really wanting to, because I'm quite competitive in my nature. So once I've started something, I want to see it through. But it was, if ever anyone asks us about The Apprentice, I always say it was the best and it was the hardest thing that I've done all in one.
Right. Okay. Why?
So one of the main things is, because you're away from home for such a long time and you are living with people that you compete against, you don't have that outlet. So, you come home from maybe it's a hard day or there's something you want to unload when you're at home, and you would talk to friends, family, you would talk to your colleagues. You don't have that there. So everything is like this really high pressured situation where you're being asked to make decisions at a pace that you would never make them in a real business. You would never make such high pressure decisions so quickly with so little information. And sometimes it's just a bit of a stab in the dark. You're doing all of that without any way of just offloading that. So the stress of it and the pressure is very, very high. But it taught us things about myself that I had no idea about. So I've always just worked by myself from the age of 16. I actually didn't really know what my strengths and weaknesses were until I went there. I was 27, I think, 28 when I did that. So I went that whole time in my career not really knowing what I was good at and what I needed to work on, because I had no comparison. I wasn't part of a team where I could say that I didn't measure up to somebody else, or I had a strength where somebody else had a weakness. I had no idea. I just cracked on with it. And when I first got there, I thought, oh my God, what have you done? I met all these other people who were, when you meet those people who walk into a room and just really own it, and they're really good at talking themselves up.
Yeah.
I was in a room full of those, and the first I just thought, for God's sake, Katie, just don't get fired on the first week. That's embarrassing.
Mhm.
Just get through the first week, and then whatever happens, happens. But gradually I started to understand that through my years of like lone wolf self-employment, there was actually quite a lot of things I was good at. And where I wasn't as good in some areas, I was learning from other people who were. So I
Mhm.
actually, from a personal development point of view, took loads away from it. You were forced into situations where your back was against the wall. You had to think quickly. You were under immense amounts of pressure. And I came out of that thinking, if you can do that, I actually think you can do anything.
Mhm. Well done. Yeah. Well, I remember watching it. Like that was when I first became aware of you. But did you made it through to the final, didn't you?
Just missed out. So there's 12 weeks of the show. I did 10 of
Right.
them.
Oh yeah.
So
Wow.
just
Well,
missed out on the
yeah.
final.
Well, that's a big achievement to make it that far. And what was the idea again? Was it like a healthy food?
Yeah, and to be fair, it was probably a little bit ahead of its time.
Uh,
That is a concept because that's quite a big industry now. But
mhm.
2024 ain't not.
Mhm. We're both frozen, so I'll just do a bit of filling. So yes, so it was a healthy food business. Like Katie says, probably a bit ahead of its time, and probably if she went on it now, it might be even more appealing to Alan Sugar now. Anyway, she's continued to go on to be very successful through her business, and I'm very happy that she decided to do this talk with us today. If anyone wants to find out more about Katie, it's, as she says, it's katiebulmer.com. So Katie, Katie, Bulmer, BULMER.com. Find out more about Katie. Check out all the fitness services she provides on there. Follow her on all the socials. I'll put some links underneath here. And I'll just end up by saying thank you very much, Katie. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment and share this. Let us know what you think. And I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Bye.